Hey, what's up, everybody? Another week, another AEW Dynamite Recap for May 19th, 2021. What is going on, buddy?
Not too much. How about you, man?
Not too much. Same old as always. I see that the Lakers ref their way into a win again today. Spoiler.
I have not been following, but you probably could have told me that in any NBA season, and I would have believed it.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors were up by like double digits, and then all of a sudden they lost. Well, I mean, it was halftime, but over the course of... I didn't watch the game because I was watching AEW, but over the half... Anyway, this is
Classic
about...
Lakers.
This
yeah,
is
we know what the refs are really wearing gold and
which is fine. The Lakers are important. LeBron's important to the league.
Stripes.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh,
Yeah.
but this is about pro wrestling, specifically AEW. What did you think of tonight's show?
Big on story, small on matches. That's the way I'll put it.
Yeah, so I'll say it. It sucked.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but yeah, it was deflating for sure.
Like nothing was particularly bad. It was just... I mean, how many we'll go over it. Let's count. How many matches ended and then somebody else came out to fight?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah,
So,
it was. Yeah.
I mean,
It was very odd.
Shall we just get into it then?
Yes.
Okay, so we start off the show on a high already because they announced Taz is with us on commentary tonight. I'm like, yes. But he only stayed for like the first match. Because the match is Christian Cage versus Matt Sydal, and so this was a pro wrestling match. This wasn't like an AEW fast-paced, do all your crazy acrobatics and athletic stuff. This was an old school. We're gonna grind it out. We're gonna throw in headlocks and start off slow and build and build and build, and then they get to the last couple minutes were really exciting. And Christian won with the kill switch. What else? Anything you want to add? What do you think of this one?
No, that's a good wrap up of the match. I thought it was decent. Yeah, you're right. It was very technical, very slow paced until kind of the end there. You nailed it. It was really like a more traditional pro wrestling match than what I'm used to with AEW.
Yeah,
and that's fine. I guess I expected a faster paced match because Matt Sydal was in it. You know, like how we joked that Christian Cage was going to be that, you know.
He still was kind of doing the gimmick of the old guy who was like breathing hard and like couldn't keep up. But yeah, I mean the slower pace is not a negative. It just means that it was slower pace. So it was like a old school wrestling match. You start off slow and you slowly build it up to the end, and when you're at the peak of excitement, somebody wins. So that was good.
Yeah, good showcase. Yeah, I liked it.
So
good opener. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So after the match, so Taz. So I'll tell you how slow this was. Like the first 5 minutes, they're all talking about, what's coming up tonight. We've got the Young Bucks. We don't like them anymore because they're bad guys now. Oh, you can still buy tickets for the 3-day weekend, Double or Nothing, AEW Friday night, and the Fan Fest. It's like that's how much they were talking about the match for the first 5 minutes. So that's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's true.
But after the match, Christian picks Matt up, they embrace, and they share a handshake. And then Ricky Starks appears. Hail to the yeah.
This was beautiful.
So he says he's got business with Christian, and he calls out the boys, and he gestures to the locker room. But, oh no, Team Taz attacks Christian and Matt Sydal from behind, and Hangman shows up. He tells Ricky, hold his beer. He gets in there. He fights with everybody. He tries the buckshot. Brian Cage ducks. He tries the drill claw. Hangman gets out of it, but then Hook eventually gives him the chop block. And then Brian Cage hits a big old nasty, beautiful looking power bomb. And Team Taz stands tall at the end. And then Taz says, "Hey, we did our job." Indeed, they did. Anything else you got on this?
Well, and the Dark Order came out after, didn't
Oh, yeah, the Dark Order came out too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Did they?
No,
that was a different match.
That's
later.
Match.
Yeah. But you see, it happened. This happens so much in this show, you can't even tell. So we're at one match, one after match brawl. Somebody else came up and beat him up, so we're 1 for 1 right now.
I swear that was completely unintentional. That was not done for comedic purposes. I honestly thought the Dark Order came out at the
Because
end
it
of
makes
this,
sense because they're affiliated with Hangman.
exactly,
But
with
no.
Hangman. But it was another match. You're right.
Yeah.
That they came out afterwards. I gotta say, I know we've said it before many times. Ricky Stark is an absolute treasure.
He is.
His facial
Absolutely.
expressions and his body language when Brian Cage and Hangman were brawling was just so good. like when Brian Cage got Hangman in a drill claw, the attempt at least, he's like, yeah.
It's
so
yeah,
good.
so it's unfortunately he's injured because Ricky Starks
Yeah.
is the best.
Yeah.
So
Soon.
next,
He'll be back soon.
yeah. Next up, we hear from the Varsity Blondes, and then Brian Pillman Jr. did a really good interview. He says his dad was, everybody says his dad was the reason why he's in pro wrestling. He said his dad, Brian Pillman, obviously, was the reason he stayed away from the ring most of his life until he met the Young Bucks, and they showed him how to fulfill his destiny. Griff talks about how he met the Young Bucks when he ran their merch table, and then now they have a cheerleader with them. That must have,
Julia Hart. Yeah.
They must have got together on Dark or Elevation. I don't know. But yeah, Julia Hart's now, I guess, the cheerleader of the Varsity Blondes. Right?
Fits, I guess. I mean,
That's cool.
Kind of like a high school team. This is a great promo. I got to give them credit. I've been sleeping on the Varsity Blondes, and I thought this was an excellent promo. Especially Griff had his moment too, but really Brian's was really on the head. He didn't yell and scream or do anything overbooked, I guess you could say.
He wasn't trying to fake anger,
Exactly. This was I totally felt the real emotion from that. I could totally believe everything he said. So all credit due. Yeah.
And so then we hear from Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and as always, you cannot recap these two guys because they're back and forth. Their banter is slightly less good than ours, but almost.
It's real. That's what it is. It's real. Yeah.
So then they talk about not understanding the super kick party. Eddie Kingston's like, yeah, do I have to do a super kick to be in the party? Because I don't do super kicks. And, Moxley starts talking about TK is all about the analytics. We need to bump up our win rate. And then this was weird. Then they show the Acclaimed. And they're standing outside. And they're just we're going to stomp your asses. And isn't that what the rap in the beginning is for?
Yeah, that's what I would think, right? Because they immediately went into a rap afterwards.
They immediately went into their entrance and then they did their diss rap, which was
odd. I don't know.
But yeah, it looks like a Wild Thing is here to stay. Jon Moxley's music, but it is a remix with a woman singing it now. I like this one version better because doesn't sound like a Geico commercial anymore.
I was shocked that the Wild Thing was here to stay, like you said. But also, like you said, I was like, this is not the original version. And sure enough, it was a woman singing it. And it actually fits better.
It does fit better that it's a remix.
The original Wild Thing is really...
It's too well known.
It really feels more like a... I don't know.
It feels cheesy.
Yeah, like a 70s kind of acid trip. I don't know.
It was some kind of... it was some edgy song back in the 60s, right? But it's this is unbelievably tame for nowadays.
Yeah, and when I think of Jon Moxley, the last thing I think of is groovy, because that's literally one of the lines in Wild Thing.
Yeah.
So this version was way better. I agree with you. Yeah.
So the Acclaimed come out with their... They do the diss rap, and this part was really weird. I don't know if I should bring it up, but I'm gonna anyway. So... The first diss is that Eddie, I'm not gonna do the rap, but Eddie and Moxley exchanged Valentine's gift. So it's so that's implying they're gay, right? Which is kind of not an okay joke to be making nowadays. And then Max Caster's partner, Anthony Bowens, is openly gay. So weird, but whatever. I'm not gonna go crazy over it.
It seems like a lot of casters raps kind of tread on that
Family Guy
homophobia, don't they? What's that?
I was gonna say the Family Guy, really pushing the envelope kind of thing.
Yeah, like remember the Young Bucks rap when they were talking about brotherly love and stuff, and I was like, oh, like this is,
The young
it's a bit
cucks.
much, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, it was cool, but I was like, whoa, weird. But he says Eddie's looks like a box of Newports. He's gonna knock out Mox with the mic like Omega did, and his girl talking about Mox's wife. His girl's hitting up some oral sessions, and the crowd is like, ooh. And this is the best part. Bowens just comes on the mic. He says, "What? She just wants us on the podcast." So that was awesome. Then he tries to do his catchphrase, but off screen, Mox comes and just clocks him.
Wails him. That was the best part of Dynamite for me. If I turned off Dynamite right then and there, I would have walked away a happy man.
Yeah. So the actual match, the Acclaim versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. So this was, in one word, a brawl. A brawl. They fought. There wasn't really much. There was, wrestling moves, but they mostly just fought each other. And they worked over Eddie, and they went to picture in picture. They came back. And Mox goes in. He seemed like he was actually really pissed about that line about his wife.
Yeah.
Because he was laying it in on these two guys. Yeah, Eddie was selling his leg, so Caster tosses Bowen. The finish comes. Caster tosses Bowens the chain. Ref sees it, but Caster is smart. He's got the boombox. Mox grabs it and whacks him. They hit a wheelbarrow into a paradigm shift combo on Bowens and get the win.
Decent match. It was pretty good. It was a brawl, like you said. There was one line. There was one line that I found absolutely hilarious. It seemed like the commentators were completely into it. Because I think Tony said, I wonder if we should call ourselves AE. Because when Bowen got nailed and they were all laughing about it. It was great.
So, I don't know if you saw this. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. So after the match, Jon Moxley, Eddie's still selling his leg. So Jon Moxley's kind of like, hey, I'll help you up. And Eddie's like, I'm good. And then Moxley rubs his knuckle into Eddie's leg. And Eddie's like, no. And then Moxley's like, all right. So, and then he accepts his help getting up.
I didn't see that. Actually.
You got to go back and watch that.
All right. Definitely.
Yeah. Just just exactly the kind of thing that you would do to me because that's the kind of jerk you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't doubt that. No, that's kind of friends we are. That's friends, man. That's brotherly love, brother.
Yeah. But of the two, it's more likely that you would be the knuckle guy.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Could vote on that. So, this next part was stupid. So they had earlier announced that the Inner Circle is going to answer the challenge of the Pinnacle. And so we got Marvez with Jericho, and he's like, are you guys going to accept? It's like, and Jericho, lo and behold, says, you gotta wait, dude. Like, what the hell? So it's just pretty much an excuse to get in the joke with Dean Malenko. Jericho says, you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to make the man of 1,000 hoes angry. And then Malenko says, well, you got 4 more than me. And Jericho says he's forgot a few. So classic Jericho interview from a long time ago. He was the man of 1,004 holds, and he listed them all on Nitro. So,
and 987 of them were probably
armbar. No, they were. Every other one was armbar.
Yeah, it was so good. It was at least 900 were arm bars.
Yeah, and it went through a commercial, which was awesome. And they went to commercial, and he came back from commercial, and he's still reading off the list.
Armbar, cloverleaf, armbar, figure 4.
So, this next part, oh boy, here we go. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are in the ring with Tony Schiavone, and the crowd chants, "You both suck," and they're right. And Scorpio talks about how he loved Sting as a kid, but now he's old and washed up. And this is the first interview of its kind in professional wrestling. No one has ever done an interview like this where they called out the old guy and said they loved him as a kid, but now they're washed up. So he isn't what he used to be. Scorpio is a grown man. He tells Sting to step aside. Isn't he the one who keeps attacking Sting?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like Sting is in his way and trying to stop him. He's just the one coming out attacking, laughing in the crowd, and then cheap shotting Sting. I was like, whatever. So
he's not holding Scorpio back, so that's very odd.
Yeah,
it's.
So Ethan Page grabs the mic. He says, "When Sting was gone, he threw Darby down the steps. So, he's not taking the blame for Darby losing the TNT Championship, but he's taking some of it. So it seems like their beef, because their whole thing originally was they were overlooked, right? But it seems like their beef is with Darby and not winning the TNT title. They're just like, okay. They even like shouted out to Miro, like, "Yeah, you're gonna be a good champion." So, what the actual hell is going on with these two guys? And
Yeah,
and Ethan
that was.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. And
No,
Ethan
I was just gonna say that's so stupid, but I agree with you. Yeah, go ahead.
and Ethan Page says he's here to take everything away from Darby. He will be the nail in your coffin. And then the lights go out. Winter is coming. Sting comes out of the locker room, and then Darby attacks him from behind. Tell me if you've heard that one before. He attacks him from the behind with a skateboard. They beat up these two clowns. Sting hits the Scorpio. Well, not hits. He puts the Scorpion Deathlock on Scorpio, and he taps. Darby blocks Ethan from saving him. And they try to run away, but then I'm talking about Ethan and Scorpio. They try to run away, but then the Dark Order blocked them. So they run off the stage. So it's like, I mean, this wasn't a match, but it was pretty much, they came out to do something. So, okay, the Eddie and Moxley didn't end that way. So 1 for 2. Right, but we're gonna count this. So as a segment, 2 for 3. Somebody came out to do something. They came out and they just got attacked for it for no reason, which is fine. So this is probably gonna be the new version of the Best Friends versus Miro and Kip, where it's just
a feud that never ends,
completely nonsensical and utterly stupid. So.
Oh God, I can't wait. Sign me up. Oh, this is where the Dark Order came out, right? This is when the Dark Order came out, right?
Yeah, this is where the Dark Order came out.
Okay,
I already said.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you say it. Oh.
Okay.
Well, we said it. Yeah.
Well,
the Dark Order came out and they stopped Scorpio and Ethan from escaping through the tunnels. So, yeah. This whole angle is stupid. I don't get it at all. Like you said, originally they were going after the TNT Championship, but at least that's what we thought.
Yeah, because
now they're just pissed at Darby for some reason.
Just because he's Darby and Sting.
And Sting.
They're mad at Sting for some reason too. He's like, okay, whatever.
I can't see how Sting or Darby are holding either of them back.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then on top of that, so this is a personal pet peeve, nitpick, but Ethan Page really needs to tone down the anger.
Oh yeah, it's really fake and over the top.
Oh, he was screaming and yelling throughout the end of that segment, and I was like, I don't believe you, whatever. One bit, man. I don't believe you whatsoever. It'd be better if he just came in real soft, whispering, yeah, and that's why I'm coming after you. But instead, it was just too over the top, way too much. Yeah,
I agree. So the Pinnacle is eating dinner, and MJF mocks Jericho's jokes about my jerk off friend and all the pineapple, ha ha ha. But he always gets the last laugh. And Dax asks the Inner Circle if they think that the Pinnacle enjoys this, but they don't, because they should be chasing championships. But they have to deal with the Inner Circle. And then Sean Spears smashes the waiter's face into the table because he didn't get his drink. Okay. And Tully tosses him a wad of cash to take care of it. MJF says if they accept, it'll be their last match, because when you're in the Pinnacle, you're always on top. This is all right. I don't know what the Sean Spears thing was, though, but whatever.
It was fine, save for that. And I'm not trying to be a Sean Spears hater. It was just odd. He just randomly attacked the waiter for no reason.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't... Yeah. It wasn't... I didn't hate it, but it was just okay, why was this even...
It would have been odd if anybody attacked the waiter.
Yeah, why was this added in? You know what would be cool in this part is if one of us smashed the waiter's face in the table,
Yeah, we just lose it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sure. All right, whatever.
But now we're picking it up. Britt comes out. Britt Baker, yay. So, Rebel versus Sheeta. And this was a very one-sided match. Sheeta beat the crap out of Rebel. She mocked Britt. Put on the glove. She was going to go for the lockjaw, but then Britt jumps on the apron with the belt. And then Rebel smashes Sheeta with the crutch. But then Sheeta's she just shrugs it off. Just tanks it. It hits a knee crusher on Rebel, puts her in the stretch muffler, and Rebel submits. So after the match, guess what happened? Britt attacked Sheeta after the match and beat her up. and curb stomped her face in the belt and posed. That's like 3 for 4 now.
Yeah, that's true. This match was fine. It was a squash like it should have been. I guess it just continues the heat of what Britt and Hikaru are going through, which is fine. Actually, I just realized something. This is the first Dynamite, and as far as I can remember, that there were 2 women's matches.
That is true, yeah, and they were back to back, no less.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wait, well, I'll talk about it when we get to that match. Don't worry. Spoiler, it was fucking good. After the match, they talk about how they had cameras were rolling. Brandon Cutler was filming Kenny going into Orange's the best friend, but Orange is there too. Their locker room as an EVP, right? So they show the injury to Orange from the powerbomb. We actually didn't catch it. I didn't even know Orange was injured. We're totally dumb. But yeah, he got injured in the match last week.
The day after we found out. Sorry.
So Kenny's there. He says he's there as an EVP, and they need Orange Cassidy as the mascot, not necessarily a main eventer. They want him to sign away his match at Double or Nothing, and Orange rips up the document. Slowly rips the document. The best part about this is Orange is just staring off into the distance the entire time. He does not make eye contact with Kenny or Don. He doesn't even look their way. In fact, he's just staring off into the distance, just minding his own business. And Kenny asks, like, what are you going to do if he gets hit with a 1-winning angel? And Orange doesn't say anything. So this is the best part. Kenny says, well, Don, I know you printed 2 copies. So Don Callis, of course, has another copy of the contract. And he slides it under Orange's hand. And he says, I'll think about it. So they want him to go out to defer and get his match later rather than at Double or Nothing.
Kenny had an awesome line too. It's like he didn't even read it.
Oh yeah, that's
it's like he didn't even read it. Like,
but that would just be like Don Callis, right? To have another copy ready.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's funny, but it is.
He's always prepared. It's like I figured you might do that. So we actually have another copy.
Don't worry, we've got another copy here for you to sign.
So perfect. So perfect.
So the Inner Circle's out. They're in the ring, minus Santana again. So Ortiz says talk is cheap. He wants a fight, and Sammy he kind of talked a little too long, even though he didn't talk too much. They even cut to Jericho giving him like the side eye, like, dude, got up already. So he says it's never gonna end. They look like dumbass fishes when they're flopping around. So it's never gonna end until this match. And like, what? And then Hager says they said they were the baddest, so if we don't accept, we're just like them. And then Jericho says, when MJF tossed him off the cage, it scared his family, so he asked if it was all worth it, and he says yes, it was worth it because he's inspired. And their answer is 1,000% yes. So I actually thought they were gonna decline, but
what?
No, I mean, like,
I know. Actually, it would have been awesome if they declined as a swerve. I don't know.
No, I thought it would. I mean, like, it would be kind of stupid, but I thought it would be really funny if Jericho was just like, you know what, though, we can't risk it, so we're gonna decline.
In all seriousness, dude,
yeah.
Not a bit. He's like, yeah, we can't do this, guys.
Yeah.
So,
and then they could just go on to like cause hell for the Pinnacle in every match they're in after that, right? And keep it going like there. Yeah. But and then Jericho will be like, "Hey, look, man, it was too big of a risk. We can't risk disbanding." Like, and it's like, well, he's right.
Yeah, fair point. That'd be awesome.
But then
I'd like to see that in an alternate universe where they decline and just cause hell for Pinnacle, and then they turn it around the Pinnacle and say, "Hey, we can do that Stadium Stampede."
But why don't you disband?
Existence on the line.
Yeah.
So
Jade Cargill's got an interview in the back. This part was kind of hilarious because Mark Sterling comes out, and it's like, didn't she say no to him last week? They showed like a clip of him like on Elevation or Dark saying, I want to be your manager, and she was like, I don't need you, I don't need the manager, bitch. And then Jade says like, like. So this is the best part. So Jade says, "Okay, first of all, you're not gonna interrupt my interview time. Get the hell out of here." And then Mark Sterling walks off, and then they cut away. That's it. She doesn't get her interview time.
Yeah.
So I started dying of laughter at this part. This whole thing is stupid, but I don't know. For some reason, it's working for me. As we said,
Really?
week after week, she doesn't want a manager, but everybody wants to be her manager, and so she's listening to offers, but she doesn't want a manager. So it's just like,
yeah.
Okay.
That's true. It's true. It's like me, like, hey, I want your opinion. And then as soon as you start talking, I'm like, shut up, I don't want your opinion.
Yeah.
It's like,
but what is your opinion?
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's fine. I still like the idea of her just calling out Red Velvet every week.
That should be the next storyline going forward.
I could get on board with that.
It's like Jade Cargill's just that ghost that Red Velvet cannot outrun. It's like, did you just leave me alone?
So, speaking of Red Velvet versus Serena Deeb, and I believe this was for the NWA Women's Championship.
You'd be right.
So Serena Deeb is coming off of a knee injury, and this match was the best match of the night. At me, I don't care. I like this match a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Fast paced, action packed, bell to bell, awesome. It was good. It was really, really well done.
So something about this match, particularly why I like this match, other than the fact that we didn't know who was gonna win. Like, spoiler, Serena Deeb wins, but we didn't know for sure. Like, because this is the NWA belt, and we have no idea what they're, Thunder Rosa came in, and then Serena Deeb just won the title from her. So it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. So we have no idea what's up with the NWA, like what they want to do with their belt. So I had no idea. Maybe they want Red Velvet as their champion or not. I don't know. But the one thing that I liked about this match more than any of the other matches tonight, these two had an intensity about them. Like they were in a championship match. Like Mox and Eddie, while it was good, it was a good beatdown, but it was just like Mox and Eddie is like, we're gonna beat these guys, so we're just gonna. The only parts were like when Mox was like really pissed about the wife comment. But yeah, there was just like an extra gear these two women had, I thought.
Yeah,
it looked like they really made me believe like they were fighting for their life and fighting for something really important.
Yeah, there was an edge to it.
Yeah. So I thought this was the best match of the night. Red Velvet almost won one part with the Davey Boy Smith Bret Hart pin, which I thought was really good. And then Serena Deeb locks on the Serenity Lock, which I think is the old Tequila Sunrise that Conan used to do. Red Velvet kind of counters it, does a couple pin attempts, but she doesn't get the pin. Then Serena goes for it again, smashes her leg into the mat, and and then puts on the Serenity Lock again, and Red Velvet has to tap. Really good. I can't recommend this match enough. This was
I'm with you. Impressive all the way. My match of the night too.
Yeah.
You nailed everything I would ever say about it, so definitely something to watch. Highlight of Dynamite for me tonight. Yeah.
So, I mean, Serena Deeb she's like a veteran, right? She's really good.
But Red Velvet's up.
Red Velvet she's come a long way. Like, I mean, she was never crappy or anything, but man, she's like you believe her as a main eventer, as a top contender for the women's championship now.
Top of her game.
Which you probably didn't think even a couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Yep. And then Marvez teleports to the Elite locker room where Pac is outside. And he's pissed off. He's sick of, they say that Pac is out there. He's going to confront the Elite. And then he says he's sick of not getting he's getting robbed of opportunities in this company. So he's got a question for you, Marvez. What fool bet against the bastard now? Huh? And then that's the end. He doesn't confront the Elite.
Yeah, fine. It's fine. It was okay. I love Pac. I want better things for him, but man, AEW is really top heavy. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to put it. Like any one of these guys could be a legitimate champion. You know what I mean?
Yep.
See where things go.
So next up, we've got Anthony Ogogo versus Austin Gunn. Austin jumped him at the bell. He tried to fight him, and then Anthony Ogogo punched him 3 times. Austin bled from the mouth. The ref stopped the match. Fine for what it was, to make Anthony Ogogo look like a badass, and he worked.
Yeah, I think this rivalry is literally just serving to make Anthony Ogogo look like a badass.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Because I have no skin in this rivalry at all.
I
really don't care who wins. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Until a hero comes along, stop the British invasion.
The American dream.
And who better than the American dream, baby? But yeah. So Marvez teleports and he's with SCU now. And they mentioned that, last week they lost, so they have to disband. And Christopher Daniel says nothing. He whispers into Frankie's ear and he walks off, and Frankie says he's got no words. He lost more than his tag team and he's gonna go hunt the Elite. I like it. I can't wait.
On a night of strong promos, this is actually my favorite, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I really believed every word coming out of Frankie's mouth. I would be scared if I was in his crosshairs. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah. So
he looks serious without being like comedic.
Yeah, without being like Ethan Page,
like a clown show. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And then we've got Sammy signs during the picture-in-picture, and one really cool line he had was, "Only the dead truly know the end of war. The inner circle is far from dead." And then he pretty much builds up the match for Double or Nothing, the Stadium Stampede match. So back to the action. Miro is out there, and this was great. He thanks Jesus for protecting him, but he also thanks making him stronger and better than everyone so he can beat everyone up. Oh, that's great. And he says, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have what he wants, then it's done. The crowd chants, "We want Darby." And Miro, quick on his feet, he holds up the belt and says, "Here's your Darby. I am the champ now." Miro is spectacular. He says someone's going to get an opportunity next week and he's going to beat them up. And so Lance Archer comes out. He's been in AEW long before, when he was having a day for himself. Ha ha ha. So he says they're going to beat the hell out of each other, and then he's going to make him his Bulgarian bitch. And Miro says, "Oh yeah, I've never heard that one before." And he says there's not enough yoga in the world that's going to save your life. He's talking to Jake the Snake. He says everybody dies, but he insists that you're going to be first. So then after all that, they announced that it's going to be Miro versus Dante Martin next week.
Yeah, no.
I was like, all right. But they did also announce that Miro's going to take on Lance Archer at Double or Nothing.
Which is weird, right? Because didn't they say that was a TNT Championship match?
Yeah.
Which means that they're already foregone conclusion that Miro's going to win against Dante Martin.
They're not giving Dante Martin's a lot of odds here.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying. It's
like,
they're putting the cart before the horse here.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Okay, if I was Dante Martin, I didn't think I would have a chance against
Miro
either. Let's put it.
What about maybe I'll be the TNT Championship come Sunday, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't really give you a whole lot of confidence going into your match. They've already announced the next championship match, and you're not in it.
So this was their time to run down the card for next week. Joey Janella versus Hangman Page. They note that this was a rematch from the first All In, yeah. The All In back 3 years ago. Anthony Ogogo and Cody are gonna have a weigh-in. Jade Cargill's got an open challenge. There's gonna have a celebration of the Inner Circle. The Dark Order is gonna take on Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Darby is gonna take on Caesar Bononi. Is that right? Okay. They're gonna celebrate 1 year of Shida being the women's champion. Orange Cassidy will respond to Kenny Omega's offer. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not gonna take it, but Sting, and they announced that Sting and Darby is gonna take on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page at Double or Nothing, and this is the first match for Sting live in 6 years. Yeah, that's it. So then we've got our main event, the Bucks versus the Varsity Blondes, and they do like a whole mocking thing of Nick gives his bandana to a fan, but of course it's Michael Nakazawa, and so yeah. I mean, what do you want to say about this? Because this was pretty much a Young Bucks match, and exactly what you would expect from a Young Bucks match, which means it was good. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I really don't have anything else to put about it. It was I don't know if stereotypical is the right word. It was an AEW match, an AEW tag team match with the Young Bucks in it. Fast paced, action packed. It was great. Um, the Varsity Blondes kept up. All credit to them. Sometimes when the Young Bucks are wrestling teams, that these teams just can't keep up with what the Young Bucks are doing because they're always like 3 steps ahead, right? Whether they're, whether they're taking moves or doing moves, the Young Bucks always just have this like extra gear, for lack of a better term, where they're just like, hey, we're already 3 steps ahead of you. You better keep up.
Yeah.
And the Varsity Blondes did. It was awesome. There was one point where I will point out, I thought this was really cool because everyone had to be on target and it worked out perfectly. Where the Young Bucks were doing offense on Brian Pillman Jr. Brian Pillman Jr. caught Matt's, was it Matt's? I think it was Nick's leg in a super kick, and he turned it around and redirected the kick to hit.
Oh, okay.
Matt
Yeah,
instead.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember it was who was.
Yeah,
that was really nice.
It happened so fast. I meant to write it down, but it was awesome. Credit to both teams. Yeah, right on.
So the ending comes when Matt has Brian Pillman Jr. in this. I wrote Scorpion, but it's the sharpshooter, done by. So Nick sprays the cold spray in his eyes in the first interference when you are winning a match.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. That's
Yes.
absolutely true.
So then Matt gets his own cold spray, and the ref sees it. He goes so pretty much Julia Hart's on the apron. She rats out on Matt, and so the ref sees the cold spray can, and he goes to dispose of it. He gets another cold spray can. He sprays it in Julia Hart's face. That was the
so hard.
biggest dick move of all time, but I thought that was great. He puts Pillman back in the sharpshooter. I wrote it wrong because the L and K is close together, so I wrote Puke Man in my notes, but it's Pillman, but I just wrote it wrong. And he puts him in the sharpshooter. Nick gives him a face buster while he's in it, and Brian has to tap. So the Young Bucks defend their title successfully. Poor Julia Hart.
Foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Poor Julia Hart. Exactly. She didn't do anything wrong. She just got sprayed in the face.
They even said that she didn't do anything wrong. It's like, well, she was trying to snitch on Matt, so that's what she
was
did
trying
wrong.
to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Do the right thing, like the Spike Lee movie. But
so the Bucks pose after the match, and tell me if you heard this one. But Eddie and Mox sneak into the ring and attack them. Oh my God. Well, not really.
Awesome.
Well, not really from behind, but they snuck in from behind.
This was awesome for many reasons, but the first and foremost was Don Callis was the first one to see them come into the ring, and he was celebrating with the Bucks. As soon as he saw them, he wanted to be anywhere else. He didn't warn anyone. He just like
he's gone. Like George in the fire.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect analogy. It's just like, I'm out of here. Save my own skin.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, we didn't do our shirt gimmick this week. So what have you got on? Oh
my
God,
heroes, the Young Bucks. Yeah.
What a shill.
Yeah, my heroes.
They're your heroes.
Yeah, they're AEW champs. They're making all the money. They're killing the business.
Speaking of heroes, though,
you can't stop me.
Why only the greatest hero of all time in professional wrestling?
Hulk Hogan?
Mr. Jonathan Cena.
Oh.
So,
interesting.
Considering our personalities, I think we got it kind of backwards here. Whereas the Young Bucks would more likely be my heroes, and John Cena would more likely be yours. But
that's true.
Life works out strangely sometimes.
That it does. Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I guess we're visualizing ourselves as the heroes we want to be, not the ones that we are. I don't know.
Could be.
Not the people we are.
Could be.
No.
So Mox and Eddie attack. They lock in double rear naked chokes on the Bucks. They go night. And this is the best part. They do their best Justin Hammer impression on Whiplash. They take their shoes and their socks. And Eddie stuffs the socks in his pants and he starts laughing. That was so good. And then lo and behold, they announced that Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston are going to take on the Bucks at Double or Nothing. Because they beat they had to beat the.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So they've got they run down the card for Double or Nothing. They got the Stadium Stampede match. We've got the 3-way Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy versus Pac for the title. We've got Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida for the women's title. Miro versus Archer for the TNT title. Sting and Darby Allin is going to take on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. We've got the Casino Battle Royal. Anthony Gogo versus the American Dream. Cody Rhodes and Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. So kind of a lot of matches.
Yeah. It's a pretty stacked card for Double or Nothing.
5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 matches. Kind of a lot.
It's going to be a pretty big show. Yeah.
But yeah, all those matches seem like bangers. The only one I'm kind of like,
yeah,
Sting and Darby versus Scorpio and Ethan Page. But like I said, that's gonna replace the Best Friends versus the Miro and Kip as the feud that just like, why is this happening?
So I should ask you before we go into this next week here, what match are you most looking forward to at Double or Nothing?
That Double or Something?
Something.
Probably the Stadium Stampede. The Stadium Stampede and Hangman versus Brian Cage, I would say. Because the Stadium Stampede last year was spectacular with the Inner Circle pulling out the victory. And I really liked Hangman and Brian Cage last time, even though it was pretty much a one-sided match with Brian Cage beating his ass. I don't think it's going to be that way again this time. And yeah, I mean, so
a lot of good matches.
Yeah,
potentially good matches.
I mean, the only one I'm kind of just like, is Sting and Darby versus Scorpio and Ethan Page.
What about Cody and Gogo?
It's gonna be
fine.
You know what it's gonna be? It's either gonna be the hero comes to save the day, or Gogo's just gonna beat his ass. There's kind of no in between, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What about you?
Unless
what are you...
QT turns again. I don't know.
he realized he's an American.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's like, why do I got this British guy who's shitting all over my country on my team?
So what are you looking forward to the most?
Tough call, you know. I'm really looking forward to Miro versus Archer. I think that'll be a real banger, like you said. Those two guys are crazy athletic for their size, so I think that'll be a really, really crazy Haas match. And then I'm actually looking forward to Young Bucks versus Mox and Kingston. I think that's a good clash of styles. I think, in all honesty, going back to Revolution 2020, that is still my favorite AEW match of all time. The Young Bucks versus Hangman and Kenny Omega.
Okay, that's a good one.
That match had it all. Not the best tag team match. The best AEW match ever, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to go with Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa versus the Best Friend. No, I'm serious. No, I'm not serious, but that actually was a really good match. Go watch that match and you'll see the exact moment of why I thought this was the greatest match of all time. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be back next week. Should we give our predictions on next week's show, the one right before the PPV?
Yeah, let's do it. I want to hear your prediction on it, on one thing for sure. So go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do that next week.
Oh, okay. You're talking about
next
Double or
week
Nothing.
for the Double or Nothing. Oh, we can do our.
You want to give our predictions for next week's card?
We can do that if you want.
Nah, we don't have to. I do want to say one thing.
Okay.
I put a star next to it on here. It's like, wouldn't it be great if Jade's open challenge turned out to be Red Velvet? Like, so, like how we were always joking that Jade, Red Velvet can never get rid of Jade.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if it was reversed and Jade can never get rid of Red Velvet?
But she keeps beating Red Velvet, but then Red Velvet just keeps coming back. And it's like,
it just keeps coming back.
Like, I was like, Jade's like, I've won like 20 straight. I deserve a championship match. Is like, well, we've booked you next week against Red Velvet. Like, what is going on? Yeah, that'd be funny. Anything else before we wrap it up?
That's it for me, man.
Okay, so thanks for watching. We will be back next week for another AEW Dynamite recap. We'll give our predictions at Double or Nothing. And until then, be good, stay safe, press all those nice little buttons. That'll help us out. We do much appreciate it. And until then, we will see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.